Week is it's a week-long event. I mean, they have multiple drag and drive, but overall it's a drag and drive event. So you have to have your car, another person, and a trailer. And you have to drive right over 1,000 miles round trip to each track. No one else can help you. Can't have any extra hands, parts. You can go at it, and then that's it. You got to get the car down the track each time, drive it to each track, and then drive it all the way back. So it's a pretty tough thing to take a drag car and make it a true street car.
So you pretty much have a true street car racing on a racetrack for 5 days straight, driving it from racetrack to racetrack and competing in a grueling event, especially in our Florida environment.
Oh, exactly. Luckily, this time it was cold, not hot.
So
it was cold.
So the I-4 traffic in 75 traffic wasn't too bad then.
There wasn't a lot. The route didn't go on I-4 that long. So mostly they pertain to back roads because a lot of the cars don't have really, I guess you would say,
Highway gears.
Yeah. A lot of cars don't have highway gears. Some of them don't even have street tires. So taking them on the highway, especially if there's a chance of rain, not a good idea. Stay on the back roads, lower speeds, have your checkpoints.
Yeah.
Time to stop.
Okay. So there's a process to get into the SICKWEEK. You just can't show up like most drag strips and just say, "Hey, I want to make the race." Do the entry fee. How did that unfold for you? To get into
I
race?
filed for it. Well,
It was almost a year in advance.
I put in October, I think it was.
It was before that.
Whenever the SICKWEEK event
It was
took
August.
place, dude, I was on there. I got in early at 9 o'clock, 9:02, 9:03. It was sold out, and we got put on the wait list. And the wait list went on for 3 or 4 months. Then I talked to a few other people, and they said, well, if they haven't called you by now, there's a 90% chance you ain't going to make it. So me and Michael was working on the car to get it ready. Well, we said, we ain't going to make SICKWEEK. Let's tear it back apart, and there's a few things we want to do. So we tear it all apart the Saturday before SICKWEEK event started.
Got that email.
We got the email that we were in, and we were repainting our frame and our roll cage and our trunk and our underneath of the chassis, which the car was bigger. Well, there was me and Michael. I said, Michael, we got to do it. We got to do it. He said, okay, Dad. So I paid to get into it. As soon as I paid, Michael said, Dad, you do know that starts next week, right? I said, you're kidding me, right?
7 days.
I thought we had 2 weeks. So I was a week behind when I paid the money to enter SICKWEEK.
No refunds.
No refund. Well, so a couple boys, Ryan and Wyatt, me and Michael, Kenny from Major Auto Glass, Dennis Rogers, Sparkplug, all come up here, and we work from, I don't know, dude, I think I got 3 hours of sleep in 6 or 7 days.
Yeah.
But
while we were also, working.
we're working our normal jobs.
We did this. This was Sunday. It was Saturday or Sunday.
Sunday's when we started.
Sunday's when we started, and then we went and obviously worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and half of Thursday. And while we were working, after work, we were also working on the car. Didn't get home till 6 in the morning. Leave for work roughly 7.
So pretty much a hell week before SICKWEEK of nonstop grinding, no sleep, barely eating, and a lot of frustration.
So,
Yep. Then, like I said, there was Wyatt and Ryan. And when we got to Tuesday, headed to Bradenton, we had so much trouble. I mean, the first test drive on the car was Monday night. at 1:30 in the morning. And we loaded up and went to Bradenton on Tuesday, which we were disqualified because we missed Monday.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
But everybody said, oh, you guys just need to give up. You guys need to give up. I said, I had 3 guys, my son, Brian, and Wyatt, never gave up on us. There's no way I could give up on them and stop.
Yeah.
So I told Michael, I said, the only way I'm giving up, dude, is if I'm coming back in a box.
Well, you're here, so that didn't happen.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But it's been the best experience that I can honestly say I've ever had of a drag racing type experience was the SICKWEEK.
I agree.
So, what was your favorite time going down the racetrack? The favorite time driving?
Honestly, I'll say my favorite time of the entire event was when we made it to Gainesville. It was absolute hell making it there, but we made it.
Yeah.
And then the tune on the car was messed up. We didn't have time to do anything, which thanks to Nate for messing with whatever we could, getting a baseline driving there. But after making it down the track, the first pass, it was slow. There was a couple things, but I think making it, the car going down the track for the first time, I think is going to be a core memory forever. It was me, because I made the car back, parked it, and he came running across Gainesville Raceway in the pits. And that was, I'd say that was it. That was it. First time ever having this car go on the track after how many years have we had it?
Well, we started on it 7 years ago.
7, almost 8 years ago.
Then, like I said, I had 2 or 3 heart surgeries in between that, but we never gave up on the old wheel.
It tried to give up on us, though. A lot.
So talking about giving up. So I've heard stories of a raccoon or something.
Oh, I hit a possum.
A possum on the way to Gainesville?
No, on the way from Gainesville to Valdosta.
So let's back up a little bit. So you made it to Orlando for registration. You got it registered.
Yep.
But it wasn't ready, right?
No.
So you brought it back and continued grinding on it. You missed Orlando because of what happened. Why didn't you make it to Orlando?
We didn't have brake lines. And then the transmission.
Yeah, they was having trouble with the transmission solenoid, and one of the spring was missing. I don't know. That transmission's been in a box for 12 years, so I lost a little spring.
One little spring for the trans brake solenoid to activate reverse, because that's the pro brake in it.
So we're here Monday night at 10 o'clock at night trying to get the transmission going. And John Harris calls me and said, hey man, I have some of them parts in my shed. You're more than welcome to have anything I got. And dude, we drove to Dade City. And I'm telling you what, it had to be 30 degrees that night.
It was cold.
We had the car on the lift. The tranny all tore apart. Come and put the parts that he let us borrow in the car. And at 1:30 that night is the first time we test drove.
So 1:30 Monday night?
Yeah, 1:30 Monday night.
The
Which
first time
technically
it
is
left this shop on its own power.
So Tuesday morning, 1
at
o'clock,
1:30.
you're going down the road, going to the gas station to get some gas.
Yep, we took it
To
2
the
miles.
racetrack. Not even that, dude. We took it to the racetrack, which is a quarter mile from the house. Went there, came back, turned it around, parked it in the driveway, and that was it. And then we loaded up on Tuesday. That was all the driving the car got.
All right, so Tuesday y'all loaded up and went to
We
Or-
headed to Bradenton.
headed to Bradenton. So what happened with that?
We headed to Bradenton and we had put all new wires on the car for the alternator to charge. And probably 3 inches back in the wiring harness, the wire was broke.
I mean, car was parked for 7 years.
Right. So we pulled off the side of the road. We got an alternator. We put a new alternator on it. We're still having trouble. We found out it had another wire issue to the alternator. We fixed that. Then we was all the way down. We was 10 miles from Bradenton?
Yeah, we were down pretty far.
We turned around and come back, drove it all the way home, come here Tuesday night, and we left from here and started doing the checkpoints. And the first checkpoint was
we made it to Coney Island.
Coney Island. Now, Coney Island, taking our picture in front of Coney Island, to me, was the best part of the whole trip.
That's that first, hey, we've gotten a direction.
Our car
Yeah.
just made it 50 miles without no issues.
So, I mean, that's a great positive step, right? You know, cars parked forever. You throw it together in a week. You missed the first race because you weren't completely together.
Yeah.
Second race in Bradenton, you have some issues, so you come back.
Yeah.
But you make it to Gainesville.
Yes.
And that was where you said you make that first pass down the racetrack.
First pass in the car. It was fun. Slow, but it was fun.
People don't understand the amount of work that goes in these things. Where you're going 12 seconds or 14 seconds, or you're going 6. You still put the same amount of effort in.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's just who has a bigger pocketbook, right?
Yeah, right.
So Gainesville, y'all go to South Georgia, right?
Yep.
South Georgia Motorsport. Yep.
So how was that? The trip from Gainesville to South Georgia?
That honestly was, I'll say that was probably the worst part out of the entire trip.
Why is that?
Well, come to find out, Gainesville has no E85. Zero. There is absolutely none anywhere around Gainesville, and this car is on E85. There's no flex fuel sensor, no 93 pump, nothing. So, gradually, you have to make do with what you got. And then you have to make a base file off of an E85 map to 93, and then try and drive a car 200 plus miles. And that's what got us. But before that even happened, we got a vibration as soon as we left Gainesville, and come to find out, the roller bearing and the tail shaft housing went out, and then that's when
Rollins Automotive in Gainesville, them guys treated us like a king, dude. I went in there and I said, "Hey man, can I borrow a set of jack stands?" I was going to find out what my vibration was. He more or less says, "No, but I got a lift back there. You can stick her on the lift." We pulled it around back, stuck it on the lift. The guys there, dude, were so helpful. They have a training guy there who even adjusted my band for me while I was there, while I was putting the tail shaft on.
Surprisingly, they had every part that we needed too. It was pretty funny. Any part that we needed that happened, just so happened to have a Power Glide tail shaft housing with a roller bearing in it. Don't know how that happens, but hey, last one on the shelf, and
They fed us too, dude. They were fed some good sausage.
There was some good burnouts over there too. Good burnouts and some good sausage.
Was that like a place where a lot of the guys went there to get some help if they needed something?
Yeah, or the shop opened up. That there was probably 4 or 5 shops at each place, I guess, that had their doors open till late if somebody needed help.
In between each, off the path a little bit, there was a couple shops that offered help for people if something happened, which honestly was great. It was nice that they did that because.
So we talked about that in the rules. There's only certain ways you can work on your car. Granted, y'all had already had other issues, so y'all weren't really racing the events. You were really just wanting to.
We were just trying to
make it a complete event, right?
Exactly.
So, how does that work though? If you're broke down on the side of the road, how can you get fixed?
So I'm pretty sure that a random individual that's not affiliated with the event, isn't signed up, isn't part of anything, can provide you and bring you a part. I'm pretty sure as far as working on the car, If you need to hold something, maybe. But they can't physically, like, say you got a head off your car, they can't put the head back on your car for you and assemble it. You know, but very small things they can help you with. If someone contests it, like if you're in the event, someone contests it, you can say, hey, I seen this XYZ working on their car without them too. You know, they're helping them, you know, do it. You know, you can't do that. But as far as small things, you know, any random person is allowed to help you. But the main thing is you have to have the two people, which would be me, my dad, is really the only ones technically allowed to work the car.
And I'll tell you, the sick ward people, dude, them are the most, how can I say it? They're awesome. Every one of them. We broke down. We left Georgia, South Georgia. We headed down 75, 65, 70 miles to I-10. As soon as I turn off I-10, fuel pressure goes boom, just like that. Drops. So I'm stuck where the road splits. And I'm taking the fuel filter off, and Michael's watching so nobody don't come across and kill us. Up pulls 3 sick ward guys. And they had brake clean and stuff with them. Mm-hmm. Them were the nice, and dude, they followed us for a couple miles.
Yep.
Make sure we were good. Then they passed us and they went on. Really, it's a family event more than it is a competitor's event, I think.
I agree.
I mean, you have your competitors and everybody wants to beat everybody else, but I think it's just amazing how the people treated you.
Yeah. I mean, it brings back, you know, true, I guess, racing, I would say, is, you know, a lot of the racing nowadays, I mean, you get guys that are cutthroat at each other. You know, they want to kill each other. You know,
It didn't matter to me. It looked like it didn't matter to me if you were Jeff Lutz, you were Alex Taylor, or you was a guy running 1658. Everybody treated you the same.
Michael Tackett.
Yep. 1658 bracket class, baby.
You know, everybody treated everybody the same. And to talk to the people that you watch on television every day, to be that genuine type of people. Mm-hmm. Talking to Alex Taylor was probably really the nicest. I'm glad she's back on Hot Rod TV, because she actually works on this stuff. I mean, yeah. That's what I told her. But what else you think, Michael?
So y'all made it from South Georgia. So y'all didn't race in South Georgia because of issues.
Yeah.
Well,
and out of fuel, right?
Yeah, can we go back to the...
Oh, you can go back as far as you want to.
We left Gainesville. We had trouble at the Waffle House. We get on this little
Waffle House.
So for our tune was off.
Oh, okay.
And him and Wyatt worked on that tune for 6 hours when we were sitting at the Waffle House.
Dude, it was.
So somebody was eating and somebody was working, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Someone got a bowl of grits, and I'm over here. Laptop, that's dead, mind you, completely dead. I'm taking it, plugging it into the charger at Waffle House, letting it charge up, make my tune adjustments, load it on the computer, unplug it, and run out of the door to the car, plug it in, make sure the fuel trim's right, and then run back into Waffle House, charge the computer up, because I couldn't just have it. We had no inverter, nothing. There was no way for us to have the laptop charging
in the car
while we were doing this, and that's why we now have a cordless inverter that runs off a little battery, because I don't ever want to have that issue ever again. But that was a solid 3.5 hour endeavor, from like probably I'd say 11 o'clock to 2 or so, messing with the tune, trying to get it right, because it just didn't like the switch from 85 to 93.
You got to back up. We were there a lot longer than 3.5 hours.
Hey, I'm just saying 3.5 hours for a short time, all right?
Hours blend together when you're trying to get back to the next race track at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, so we leave there, and we head back this little country road to Valdosta.
So many deer on that road.
Dude, you saw one deer, you saw 50 deer. So we're cruising. Dude, it was so cold. I had my snap-on jacket wrapped around my legs, and I'm driving, I'm cruising, and outrun this possum. Dude, I tried to miss it, but I didn't think nothing about it. Get to Valdosta, pull in the parking lot, go to back the car and trailer in the spot.
No reverse.
Push the trans brake button. All I see is a big poof of smoke underneath my dash. I'm like, dude, piss on. I'm not worried about that. We need to sleep, get up in the morning, and find out what's the matter with me. We got there, what, 4:30?
Yeah, 4:30, almost 5, and it was a crisp, like, 28 degrees outside.
So
we got up the car.
We got up at 8 o'clock, and I'm out there, and the possum went underneath, and my trans brake wire kind of got knocked up. So when the trans brake was activated, it melted my wire again. So we're out in the middle of the parking lot, changing that, rewiring the whole trans brake system.
Luckily, we had an extra solenoid.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
And 2 of the sick ward guys brought us breakfast.
Yeah, well, they came around first. So the 2 guys from Sick Ward came around first. We talked to them probably for a good 15 minutes while we're messing with stuff on the car. And then, they're just like, oh, well, have a good day. We're going to the track, whatever. And we went on our merry way. And next thing you know, about probably 10 or so minutes go by. We're buttoning some stuff up on the car, putting new relay and stuff in, getting everything done. And they come and they bring us breakfast. They literally just come by, unwillingly just brought us McDonald's. And honestly, I think that was one of the things where it was wholesome. Two guys that were from Texas. They came from Texas for this event, rented a Dodge Caravan. And I don't know who you guys are, but I'll tell you what, if you somehow watch this video, I just want to say thank you, because that was the best thing ever, and I still never found out who you were, even after I posted it in the Sick Mag page, and like 2,000 people saw it. So
that's that competitive nature of people, but the pure generosity of the racing community and the whole.
Yep.
They'll give you your T-shirt if you need something to
Exactly.
mop up some oil.
Pretty much.
I ain't got no shirt, but the oil messes. We're still racing, right?
Yep.
So that's pretty a lot going on there. So, but you still had one leg left. You had to get back to Orlando, right?
Yeah, so when we left Valdosta, like I said, I-10.
We made it to South Georgia. We made it to South Georgia first.
Yep. Then we got there.
Left there.
And we didn't want to run it at South Georgia because it's on that tune, and I didn't want to melt the motor down.
You got the 93-ish.
That 93-ish bass tune, a little bit lean. If you look at the headers, you can see it a little bit, but she'll be all right.
So
you got warm, huh?
I told Michael, I said, Michael, let's just not run it today, bro, and we'll get to Orlando and run it on out.
Yep. After showing up too, because we fixed the car in the morning, when we made it there, we missed our call for our class. So by the time we got there, if we wanted to make it back but make a pass, we would have had to wait another 3+ hours till they did all call for us to go down the track. So it was there was no sense in us even thinking about taking the car down the track and then making the trip back to Orlando at 5-6 o'clock at night for a 4-hour drive.
Yeah. So it just made no sense to wait around.
No.
And if something happened,
we weren't
stuck in the middle of nowhere.
At that point, we weren't in competition, so it didn't make sense.
The only issue we had from Valdosta to Orlando
is cleaning our fuel filter 7 times.
It's cleaning our fuel filter. But we were in a rush. We ordered 2 fuel filters. One with the shutoff valve supposed to have 100 micron in it. Then one in the front supposed to have a 10 micron. We never took them apart and looked at them, though. We stuck them on there. You come to find out the 10 microns in the back and the 100s in the front.
I'll tell you what, that fuel filter's clean, though.
I mean, you built a car in 7 days, some things happen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you get to Orlando. How'd the car run in Orlando?
So when we got to Orlando, well, I'll say the best drive first of all was from Georgia to Orlando. That was the nicest nicest drive in the whole entire time.
Yeah, just stop every now and then when I see the fuel filter fluctuate, clean it, go.
Yep. But I will say when we did get to Orlando, the tune obviously still wasn't right. But we ended up using everything we had on 93, and by the time we got close enough to Orlando, that's when we found more 85. So we got as low as we could, drained just a little bit left that we had, filled it back up with the 85, swapped the tune over, and it was a lot better. The car was a lot happier. But my friend, I guess I say now, that I met during this event, his name's Trevor. He's from, I think, Jersey. Really good LS tuner up there. They went for a little
ride on 50.
No, it was in Mexico. They went for a ride in Mexico, and they got the tune in the car dialed down. Okay, that's all we needed to know. So overall, we waited in the staging lanes for, I don't know, let's say 2 hours. I fell asleep in the staging lanes.
Been there, done that.
Yep, I was tired. I fell asleep. Time we go, this is the first time use the car on the trans brake, messing with the two-step a little bit, and only left on 2 pounds. Didn't let it ping pang pow how it was supposed to, and about say the 330, she lit up, and I felt pretty good after that. But
so she spooled up after about 3:30, and then it started to pull.
And it started to pull pretty good. So
I was on 1150 at 80 miles an hour.
I went.
Yeah, I was on
10.
I was on the brakes after
20. So that's pretty impressive.
But he wanted to run it out the back door. But dude, we bought all new springs, all Calvert stuff in the rear, Avcos in the front. Our car settled almost 2 inches.
We had this much gap on the rear tire before we left. And by the time we got back, it was tucking the rear tire. I mean, it was all new springs, all new shocks, everything in the back end was new. So it has to settle.
I have no shock adjustment in the back.
You can't raise.
I can't raise it. I can't lower it. It's just regular single adjustable shock in the rear. Well, we're going to bump stop. I told Michael, I said, the car's going to separate, and I'm afraid if you run it all the way out, let off of it, it's going to hit hard.
That right
and I don't want you to wreck it.
Right lane at OSW's got a good little dip in the back, so it makes sense.
He said, oh, okay. So now I just ordered all the stuff from Funkhauser to take care of that.
Yep.
So.
Tell you what, it was really tempting to not go against his word and run it out the corner, dude, because as soon as the car felt good, I had to let out. And I was like, oh, man.
You were right there. And
I was right there. I mean, we were almost a second and a half faster in the 8th than it was in Gainesville. And,
There'd probably been a high 9, low 10 second pass for the second pass down the racetrack, which I feel that's pretty good for what we did.
Yeah, for a car with no boost controller or borrowed ECU. Thanks, Wyatt. And a lot of other small things going on.
So, all in all, it was a hell of a week to get to Sick Week, and pretty sick week at Sick Week. No sleep.
Yep.
Lots of driving.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of work. Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely.
So
I'll do it tomorrow.
I don't know if your boss will let you do it tomorrow.
My boss probably won't let me do it, but I'll be there tomorrow.
Hey, which also, speaking of bosses letting us do this, I thank you, Matt, for letting me be able to do this. You didn't really have a choice in the matter. Sorry about that one, but I pretty much said, hey, a week in advance, I'm taking a week off. We're doing this, and luckily I was able to do that. I'd do it again.
So I take that means Sick Week 2025 is right there, ready to go again.
Oh, absolutely.
A Sick Week 2025, I really want to be 110% ready, and I want to try to be in the 8-second bracket when we go back.
So to be there, if you look at what happened this year for Sick Week 2024, what you gonna do different to be ready?
My stuff will be in a box 2 weeks before Sick Week begins, so I know everything is perfect.
The car and the little trailer for the car will be in the enclosed trailer at least minimum a week before the event. And it'll be in there, ready, done. So we're good to go.
So no hell weeks prior to the Sick Week.
Absolutely not, dude. I'm getting all the sleep I can before Sick Week this year. I'm still catching up.
I want to go back just a little bit. The motor that's in this car, I had a 94 Chevy pickup truck. So I go and buy me a $250 LS motor. It's all aluminum 5.3. I said, I want to put me some good heads on it. So I went and bought me a set of $50 Junkyard 706s. But I did put a Chuck Norris
Truck cam in it.
truck cam in it.
Truck cam.
So it's 553 lift. It's got beehive springs. It's got stock retainers. This motor was going in my truck. Then my son talked me into doing a twin turbo setup.
My bright idea.
He
Dude,
said, "Dad, $2,500, we can be racing." Yeah, right.
we add another zero to that.
But I'm gonna tell you something. It's the best experience I've ever had in drag racing.
Honestly, I agree. I mean, just as far as the event itself was very, very well put together. The routes was awesome. They gave us a full Google Maps, like exact road, exact checkpoints, everything that just took us all the way through. So you didn't have to wonder, hey, we're going this way. Hey, we're going this way. And so that was awesome. And it's just the people.
Oh, and I gotta tell you something. The guys that check you in, the women and the men that do the tech, that when you pull up to the Sick Week tent, there's an older gentleman there. Dude, that dude right there has to be the nicest guy that you ever met in your life. When we rolled up Sunday to tech it in, this car hasn't been washed in 7 years.
The hood wasn't white, by the
So
way.
the hood was not white. And when we rolled up into tech, they go, "You want to tech that?" I said, "Yeah." Then we pulled off the hood. They said, kind of nice underneath there. They were the nicest people, bro.
I agree.
So, is there anybody that you want to say special thanks to that helped you make this Sick Week 2024 possible?
Yep, I would have to say my specific list of people would be Wyatt, Bryant, thank you. Honestly, without your help, this wouldn't have been doable. And also, thank you for letting us use the Holly for the event. Now it kind of makes me want to keep it. Ryan, dude, I can't even thank you enough. I mean, you were here with us every single night. I think it was one night you weren't here. But honestly, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And then Nate, cool, Dr. Tunamal, thanks for being on the laptop a little bit with Wyatt, trying to get everything settled out when we first got everything going. And then, what was I going to say? My buddy Brian came over. He helped us out a good little bit on the last night, getting the car ready. And then you got a good list over there, too.
Yep. And Kenny, Chris, from Professional Auto Glass, that dude helped us tremendously. Put my glass in my car.
We're actually able to see now.
Didn't charge me a penny. Bought us 2 fuel jugs full. Let us take his injectors in case we had trouble with our injectors.
Yep.
Nicest people in the world. Dennis Rogers, Pete, and Sparkplug all come over one night. We all put my rear end together and stuff. That was on Thursday night, wasn't it? Or Friday night? That was Thursday.
That was Thursday night for the rear end together.
Yep. Oh, you can't. Ryan, I don't know, he's like a son to me now.
Mm-hmm.
And Wyatt, the dude is smart.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I
For what
agree.
he knows, you know what I'm saying?
Also, thanks, Trevor, for getting with us at Orlando. I wish we got together in Gainesville like we were supposed to, but we both had our own fair amount of issues. But thanks for getting the car actually spiced up now, and we'll see what happens. So.
Yep. Sort of. Oh, and my doctor, Jerry Reed, he paid for half our fuel.
Yep.
Which was pretty cool.
Didn't awesome.
Have to do that, you know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. There's a lot of people to thank in doing these things, and you can list them on for days and days. But like I said, thank you for joining me tonight and going over this lovely time you had. And hopefully next year, 2025, is 1,000 times better than it is this year.
Yeah, hopefully in 2025, if we make it in the event, I want to bring home a trophy.
We'll make it every track. We'll be around 850s. We'll get her done.
Well, thank you for joining us. This has been Making the Race. Have a great day.
Thanks.